You know, there's this strange moment that happens in every trader's journey. You're looking at the same charts that used to just scream chaos at you, but all of a sudden, they don't feel so loud anymore. Something inside you has shifted. That right there, that's the moment most traders never get to, and it's exactly what we're going to break down today. So let's really dive into this. The biggest, most important change for a trader isn't some huge win or a perfect trade. Nope. It's marked by silence. It's this internal quiet that tells you you're no longer just reacting to the market, you're actually starting to understand its language. And this right here, this really shows the great divide. You've got the vast majority, the 93%, who are constantly reacting, chasing every move, and, well, they just burn out. But then you've got this small group, the 7%. They learn to respond, to wait, to endure. Today we're talking about the 5 signs that you're crossing over to that 7%. And here's the secret. These signs, they show up in your mindset long before they ever show up in your bank account.
All right, so sign number 1. This is a big one. You stop trading for the excitement, for the adrenaline rush. Instead, you trade for clarity. That constant nagging urge to just do something, to buy, to sell, to not miss out, it begins to fade.
I love this because it shows exactly where your focus shifts. See, the amateur thinks the market rewards constant activity, but it absolutely doesn't. The market rewards discipline. A professional's focus isn't on doing more. It's on waiting patiently for that one perfect moment to do anything at all.
The legendary trader Jesse Livermore said this, and man, is it one of the deepest truths in trading. This isn't about being lazy, not at all. This sitting is a form of intense mental control. It's a superpower you use against your own impulses, your fear, and your greed.
And that's the key, right? Sitting is an active professional skill. You completely stop trying to outsmart the market. Instead, you learn to wait for it to present a clear, obvious opportunity. And you start to find this peace, not because the market is suddenly calm, but because you are.
Okay, on to the second sign, and I've got to tell you, this one is a complete game changer. It's about a massive shift in how you think about and react to taking a loss.
The amateur, well, they take every single loss personally. They ask, why did I lose? And that ties their self-worth directly to the outcome of a trade. A day in the red can ruin their entire week because it feels like a personal failure, like they did something wrong.
But the professional, they ask a completely different question. Did I follow my plan? It's such a simple shift, but it changes everything. It detaches their identity from the outcome. A loss is no longer a failure. It's just feedback. It's a data point, and that's it.
And this is why that shift is just so powerful. The moment your success is measured by how well you executed your strategy, not whether the trade won or lost. That's when you become psychologically untouchable. No single trade has the power to break you anymore.
And that kind of resilience leads us straight into the next 3 signs. I like to think of them together as forming what you could call the inner edge. This is the core foundation of a professional's internal mindset.
So, let's just quickly walk through these 3 powerful shifts. First, you start to truly trust your own judgment. Second, your main goal becomes protecting your discipline. And third, you finally learn to think in probabilities.
That first one, trusting your judgment, means you stop jumping around from one hot strategy to the next. You stick with your system, even when it's slow, even when it feels totally uneventful. Why? Because you've done the work and you've seen firsthand that boring is what actually works. The thrill is gone, but it's replaced by something way better, clarity.
And this brings us to sign number 4. Your whole daily mission changes. You wake up and your primary goal is no longer to find a trade, it's to protect your discipline. You finally realize that just waiting is a strategic position. Protecting your capital on quiet days, that's the foundation of any long-term success.
And now for sign number 5, the final leap. You start thinking purely in probabilities. See, the gambler, their ego is on the line. They need to be right on this trade. But the professional? They know that any single trade is just one of 1,000. Their focus is on the process, on making good, high-probability bets consistently over time.
Now, once these signs start popping up, you might be thinking, yes, I finally made it. But here's the thing, becoming profitable, that's only half the battle. The real test, the one nobody really talks about, is what comes next.
Think about it like this. Staying profitable is so much harder than becoming profitable. And why is that?
Because once you find that consistency, your greatest enemy is no longer the market, it's your own comfort.
And let's be really, really clear about this. The single biggest threat to a long career in trading isn't a bad market. It's not a string of losses. It is arrogance. It's that little voice that whispers in your ear, hey, you've mastered this. You can bend the rules a little. That voice is what destroys disciplined traders.
This is why success in trading isn't some finish line you cross and then you're done. No, it's a constant state of maintenance. It requires this lifelong balancing act between having the confidence to execute your plan and having the humility to keep following your rules, day in and day out.
And when you find that balance, something truly incredible happens. You realize the market isn't something you have to fight or conquer. It's a mirror. All it does is reflect your own internal state back at you, your discipline, your patience, your maturity.
So let's just recap the pillars of this entire transformation. You trade for clarity, not for a thrill. You see losses as valuable feedback. You protect your discipline above everything else. You think in probabilities, not predictions. And finally, you find real peace in patience. That is the mindset of mastery.
And what's really amazing is that this whole journey is about so much more than just making money. The self-mastery you learn while staring at a chart, the patience, the detachment, the discipline, it starts to bleed into every other area of your life.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought to reflect on. When you look at the chart, what do you see? Do you see an opponent that you have to outsmart and conquer? Or do you see a mirror showing you exactly who you are and who you still need to become?